The Atlanta Radio Theater Company proudly presents Nightingale, Episode 1. Original story by Ellie Raine. Script by Billy Barefoot.
Hey! Get back here!
You're an asshole, Davis!
Try for that gun again, and I'll cover the bricks with your daydreams.
We had a deal!
Still do.
Well, pal, I snooped around for that girl you asked after, but the deeper I dug, the more I found out about little old you. You never said you were with the Carpers.
I never said I wouldn't give you a new lead tooth either, but I will if you don't start talking, Daryl. You said you saw her. You saw this woman here in Boston. Where? When? Spill it.
All right. Look, I don't know why you care anyway. The dame didn't look important enough.
Where?
The Opera House. Last night, she was poking around the back doors after hours.
Was she with anyone?
Alone, I think, at least at first. I tailed her, though, and she met up with someone at a motel.
Which one?
The one down on...
Damn! Ow! Oh. Ouch. Welcome to Boston, 1944. This is how my night is going. My name is Alistair Deus. I'm a private investigator, but for right now, I'm kind of on my own personal case. Finding the bitch who killed my father. Poor Daryl there just gave me the best lead I've had in quite some time. That is, before someone painted the bricks with his brain. What? I was just about to come out from behind the dumpster when I heard those ominous heels clicking in the alley. I had to squint in the dark. She was a tall gal, aptly dressed for a funeral, hauntingly pale with bobbed raven black hair that framed her sharp cheeks. A smoke stick clamped between her teeth. She approached the corpse that used to be Daryl.
Well.
She can't see me. Who the hell is she talking to? Daryl? She didn't notice that one side of his head was blasted open? A crow flew over my head and landed beside the tall woman's heels.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
She grinned and bent down, gently stroking the crow, but her eyes stayed fixed in my direction, as if she knew I was there. I half expected her to call me out for snooping. She knelt between the crow and Daryl's corpse. I wasn't sure my eyes were working right, but it looked like a faint mist was evaporating out of him. When the mist disappeared, she rose and stole a last glance back at me. She knows I'm here, and I know what she looks like. Hey, stop! You're a witness to... She's gone. Damn it! Well, I guess it's time to call Earl. Earl? Yeah, it's me. I think we may need a bag and a mop. As Earl and the boys pulled up, I felt a faint pain in my shoulder. I'd been so distracted, I forgot I was grazed by a bullet earlier. Lucky for me, the sting was fading. Quick healing really helps in my line of work.
Where's the stiff, Al?
This way. Watch the glass on the curb. The Schroeder took out the light. Earl and I go way back from the early days when I first joined the force. We were just basic officers then. Eventually, he got promoted to lieutenant, and I joined the CID. That is, before I decided to leave and work for myself. I have someone to find, and I won't find her using the department's methods.
One in the head, another at the light, let's see. 2 in the bricks and 1 in the trash. Any more bullets let loose, or is that it?
I think one went out in the street.
It looks like one got you, Al.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
Hey, someone get over here and take this guy to the hospital.
No hospitals. It wasn't a bullet. There was wet paint near my apartment, and I wasn't paying attention.
And the tear in your sleeve?
It snagged on a nail in the phone booth.
I don't think so. I know blood when I damn well see it. Give me that arm. No wound I can see. It sure looks like blood, though.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But it's paint.
Paint. I know you said you was a fast healer once, but
If it was blood, I think I'd have a pretty ugly gash, yeah? No one heals that quick. No one except my brother and me. You'll meet him later.
Damn convincing paint. So who's the stiff?
Daryl Heller. I was getting info from him before someone decided to use him for target practice.
You getting info for a client?
Personal reasons.
Henrietta?
Turns out she's here in Boston.
Damn. Think the shooting's involved in your search?
I'd be a pretty terrible investigator if I didn't think so. It's too convenient. Practically every informant I get something out of gets terminated one way or another. But this is the first time I hear she's in town. I'd be willing to bet she's the shooter herself.
Could you get a specific location?
Daryl only saw her snooping around the opera. That's all I got before he bit the bullet.
I'll send some boys to stake the place out. Come on, I'll give you a ride home. I don't want you walking out here with a shooter on the loose.
Right. Yeah, just my office will do. I have to file all this mess.
Hey, guys, I'm taking Al home. Keep this area secure.
You're not gonna keep me in the dark on a single speck of dust in this case. You give me? You find even a strand of hair you think belongs to her, you call me. This rug isn't getting pulled out from under me by the cops.
You're already involved, son. You're a witness and a consultant. Be the first guy I call, whether you like it or not.
Damn right I will be. Thanks for the ride, Earl. My office is on the first floor, wedged between an old consignment shop and a launderer. Nothing fancy, but that's how I like it. It's getting colder. Something feels off. What is up with that creepy broad and those dirty winged rats? Is she keeping tabs on me? Nah, she'll be back. And boy, is she in for one hell of an interrogation. Last night had been a living hell. The search for Henrietta has never been this close. But I had to put it aside for today. My sister-in-law needs food for the week. And not only that, but my brother was due back from the war. And he was injured. Lost his whole damn leg to a Nazi landmine. His family had a quaint little home outside of Boston. Like the ones you'd see in the papers. The kind that seemed a little too wholesome to be real. With its white painted exterior and happy red shutters. I walked down the stone path, but stopped short when I found my sister-in-law planting a small patch of tiger lilies by the door. Son, if you want flowers, you should let me do it. You can't be out here.
I can be wherever I damn well please. I just found these growing behind the house and thought Ollie would like to see some color in the front when he comes home.
You know what else he'd like to see? His family, still at home and not taken to an internment camp for being Japs. Now go on. I got what you asked for at the market. You need help with the cooking?
No, I'll handle it. Thanks, Al. But you could help set the table.
Sure could.
Uncle Al, you were supposed to come home hours ago.
5 minutes isn't exactly a few hours, Stephanie. But it's nice to see you two, sweetheart. Why don't you go get your brother? Tell him he'd better get his rear out of bed if he wants any of this fine dining.
Hey, Uncle Al.
Up late, huh?
He was studying. I'm giving him an exam next week in science. His last score was less than great, so I'm giving him another try.
Oh, well, good to see you studying into the wee hours of the morning for it.
Anyone home?
Welcome home, Dad!
Kifiso, Mikrololuthi. Just look at how big you've gotten.
Ollie.
Hello, my love. Al, good to see you.
Same to you. Glad to see you're still in one piece. The letter we got said your leg was blown off.
They must have meant my buddy Eddie. He was in my platoon and, well, so how's work been? It's been a while. I hope Earl's still giving you enough cases.
Oh, I get plenty. And this latest case takes the cake.
What is it?
I'll tell you about it over drinks later. Wouldn't want Son's fine cooking to get cold. After lunch, I took Ollie into town to relax and get a feel for city life again. We went to see a flick. Then, that evening, I took him to a bar 2 blocks away from the theater. So, there's news on my hunt.
With Henrietta? Damn it, Al. Haven't I told you to drop it? She's not someone you want to find.
Well, don't have much choice now, do I?
What are you yapping about?
Something tells me you aren't going to like the tip I got last night.
And what poor schmuck gave you that tip. Better question, is that poor schmuck still alive?
It's not my fault someone keeps scratching off my leads.
Actually, it is. You know better. You know what our mother's capable of. Al, look, do me a favor. Stop looking for that old hag. What do you even expect to do when you find her?
Same thing she did to Pop. I'm gonna put a bullet through her teeth. It was the most distinct memory I had in my childhood in New York. Everything before that point was pretty blurry, but the deafening bang of her gun going off in Pop's mouth, I remember that, and I never forget.
And after that? After you shoot her? What's next on your to-do list?
Won't know till I get there.
So what was the tip? If your informant died over it, it had better have been worth it.
It was. Looks like the family reunion's coming to us.
God, no! Don't say it!
She's in Boston, at a theater to be specific.
Damn it, Al! When?
A few nights back.
What the hell is she? Wait. What year is it again? 43?
44.
Shit. It's been that long?
What? Since we seen Ma? Guess so. 42 years of being a ghost, and now she just pops up, and I don't even have to hop a few states or even a few countries for it. Damn crazy luck for me, that's for sure.
It isn't luck. She's here for a reason.
And what reason do you think she's here for?
Just call it a hunch.
Oh, there was something else.
Don't say that. Her being here is bad enough.
There was another dame there last night when my guy was shot.
Oh, well, isn't that just swell? Who else?
I don't know her name. She was a spooky-looking gal, pale as a ghost, seems to have a thing for disgusting scavenger birds. And I think she did something to my informant's body. I don't know what, though. It was dark, but it kind of looked like... Nah, never mind. I was probably seeing things.
Yeah, I'd say you're right there.
Hey, come on. Want to do some snooping around with me at the theater?
Hell no. Go and take a look yourself if you want. But I have to warn Son and the kids. I swear to God, if Henrietta shows up...
He rose from his stool and went to hail a cab. It was dark out now. I started towards the opera house, alone.
Might not want to go that way.
Oh, what the...
Right here, big cat.
Sitting at a cafe's outdoor table and smoking from a long stick right next to me was a dark-haired broad in a black, wide-rimmed hat. It was the same woman from last night. Well, this must be my lucky day. Listen here, doll. You and me, we're gonna have a little talk, and I don't expect to do much of it. Get me?
Sounds great, big cat. But I don't expect to start wagging my tongue until I get the answers I want.
Not how it works.
Mind if we walk and talk? I'm in a hurry.
To the opera? I take it you got someone to meet there? A trigger-happy buddy, maybe?
If you think she and I are buddies, then I guess you don't know much about us after all. Well, that's one question off my list.
She? You talking about Daryl's killer?
If Daryl was your friend who was swimming in his own brain pool last night, then yeah. Sure.
So a dame did him in. Then my money's definitely on her. Henrietta hasn't given up her old habits.
You know Henrietta?
You could say we're acquainted. Well, what are you looking at?
You look like him. Too much like him.
Like who, doll? The game is 20 questions, not riddles and rhymes.
So, what's your name, big cat?
Alistair Deus, private investigator. And you're on the wrong end of this investigation, Toots. So now I'm asking for your name.
D.
Got a last name with that D?
I'll let you figure that one out on your own, Mr. Investigator.
All right. Forget the name. But let's get something straight, sugar. I got a list of questions the size of Virginia I want answers to. And it sounds like you know more about what's going down at the opera. So move it. And don't even think about putting those pretty heels to work in the wrong direction.
A gun? Really? Why bother?
I like the security
What security?
of knowing I have the pistol and I'm the one who can blow your guts to oblivion and not the other way around. Now shut your trap before I shut it for you.
Well, that's one more question off my list. Anyway, might as well tuck it, Tiger. That little toy of yours is as threatening as a cap gun. But dinner might get you pretty far. If you make it a nice one.
How about we save dinner for the next date? I'm feeling like a show tonight. How do you know Henrietta? Is she your partner? A friend? A relative?
Oh, good God. If I was one of her kids, I think I'd really want to kill myself.
You've wanted to kill yourself before.
We've all thought about
I'm
it.
pretty sure I know plenty of people who have not.
I am not talking about everybody in the world, Big Cat. I'm talking about me. And the others.
Are you in some kind of cult?
I wouldn't call it a cult, but whatever helps you sleep at night. You do sleep, don't you?
Who in the hell doesn't sleep?
We used to have someone who didn't, but he clocked out a while back. And sometimes the new recruits get similar traits as the old ones. You just never know these days.
What the hell are you? Walk faster! As we approached the opera house, a copper ran up to stop us.
Oh, Mr. Deus. The captain was looking for... Who's this?
My, secretary.
Hey, Al, this way. Follow me and don't say a damn word until we're inside.
Most of the opera house employees were absent. The concessions abandoned, ushers and clerks downright AWOL. There should have been a crowd given the advertising sign saying an orchestra was scheduled to play half an hour ago, but there was no spectators here. The left behind wine glasses on the tables meant there had been people, but I guess the chief had everyone evacuated for whatever the hell was going on.
Where the hell have you been? I called you hours ago.
I was out with my brother. He just got back from the war.
Yeah, great to hear. This isn't a date, Al. Get her out of here.
Who's he?
She stays. New secretary.
Since when did you start looking for a secretary?
Thought it was overdue.
Guess you never do answer your damn phone.
Exactly. And I needed to take, notes. She stays.
Fine. But don't blame me if she skedaddles after this. Tighten your stomach, Al. It ain't pretty. I've never seen something like this, and frankly, I don't know how to handle it just yet.
Stop squawking and show me already.
Hope you're ready, Big Cat.
Just shut your trap, doll, and don't even think of... Oh, Lord Almighty! The main attraction that brought us here was displayed on stage. Her body was strung up by wires, one hand placed on the cello strings and the other gripping the long bow. She looked like any normal poised musician about to play a masterpiece, except her detached head was speared to the cello's neck. Oh, what the seven hells is this, Earl? A damn pig roast?
Why do you think I phoned you? I want to know what happened, why, when, and what deranged little bastard did it.
A giant hole had been carved in her chest cavity. Oh, damn! Tell me her heart's where it should be.
Nope. Check this out.
Earl shook the cello. I took out my penknife from my coat pocket and shined a beam through the instrument's hole. There was a soggy lump of hot meat, extra pulverized. Oh, Christ almighty! Oh. Glad to see you're used to this kind of thing. Oh. Dee had perched her pretty rear in a seat, her long legs crossed and kicking leisurely as she kept to her smoke. I felt along the cello's base, then trailed up. I stopped at the neck when my fingers brushed over an etching there. There was strange symbols written in the wood. Them et hiete Orphea.
Remember Orpheus?
Do you know what that means?
No.
That was a lie. Those words meant something to her. They were Greek, like me. I wasn't sure what, but I knew I didn't like it.
Think it's some kind of statement?
Could be. Sounds like a fable reference, but I'll have to get more details. Who was the broad, anyway?
A fairly famous cellist from New York. She was scheduled to perform tonight, but that obviously ain't happening. The director's in a fit over it.
I can't blame her. I glanced at the red-faced woman. She was dressed in a man's fancy tux and a black bow tie, wiping the sweat from her brow. Good evening. You in charge here?
Yes. Beckham, house director.
Alistair Deus, private investigator.
They are letting college kids snoop around for the press?
I'm 48, ma'am. I haven't been to school in a good 20 years.
Hot damn. They must be putting something in the water these days.
No, ma'am. Just Greek blood. So, Captain Hunter asked me to take a peek at your problem.
Yes, thank you.
Now tell it to me straight, as much as you remember from what you had for breakfast to now. She told me everything. Most of it was useless, but I listened anyway, writing down notes. She said she didn't sleep last night because she was nervous for the cellist opening night and stayed up smoking, killing a bottle of bourbon, talking to some people on the telephone, and making sure everything was set for tonight.
I was just about to leave the house when I got the call about Pammy.
The cellist? Sorry, no one's told me her name yet.
Yes, it was Pamela Rutherford.
Now, Miss Beckham, did you happen to see this woman in or near the building recently?
Oh, hell. Is she dead too?
Don't I wish. You recognize her?
We might have met for an appointment once.
When?
19 hours ago. Left the opera at 1 o'clock last night.
Was that before or after your appointment with our cellist over there?
Just what are you suggesting?
I'm an investigator, ma'am. Don't insult me. Before or after?
During.
Good God, lady, what's wrong with you? The dead brunette I can understand, but that old bat's gotta be at least 70 by now.
Boy, if she was, there's definitely something in the water. It looked exactly the way she is in the picture. Not a hair out of place.
This was taken over 40 years ago.
Well, I tell you what, she must have found the secret, because those gams were moving like weasels.
Don't. Just don't. Was there anyone else in the house I should know about?
No, sir.
Right then. Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Mommy troubles?
What makes you think she's my mother?
Who else could she be?
Just based on the photo, anyone. But if you're in her little cult, then she must have mentioned she had a son at one of your meetings, huh?
What other family members have you met? Any brothers? Sisters? An uncle or two?
My family's none of your damn business.
Oh, don't I wish, big cat. The problem is, you all keep dragging me back in the game every time I find a nice place to settle down for a while.
What does that... walk with me. Now talk. What did you mean by you all and game? And what the hell was the message on the cello about?
Well, to answer your first question, by you all, I meant the Deus family. I wasn't sure you were one of them until you flashed me your card.
What do you know about my family?
More than I'd like to. To be honest, it's always one of you who starts the wars. Well, sure, the others have their skirmishes every now and then, but they don't usually involve the rest of us.
Huh? What?
Only when a Deus is in the area does everyone have problems.
Huh?
Always trying to recruit us to their sides. Extra cash and authority promised. Rarely paid back, mind you. And not to mention all the trouble...
What the hell are you saying? You make it sound like you're all part of the damn mafia.
Something like that. Gotta be honest, it gets harder to care about all these laws the longer you go on. They're always changing anyway, and what do we have to worry about except being stuck in some boring cell block for a while? Not much incentive to follow the rules when you take away the most important fear known to man.
What fear?
Death.
You don't fear death.
It's not that we don't fear it. Hell, there have been some of us who have pined for it. The sad sacks. No, we just don't worry about it anymore. Not unless it's the right time.
Ha ha ha. Like when there's a gun to your head?
Not quite.
Right. Well, doll, you say you know some of my family, which is how you know about my mother. And if you say some of them are in crime gangs, you'll know if she's in one.
In one? Daddy-o, your old lady is one. She runs a whorehouse up north.
Great. Then what is she doing here for gigs up north?
Based on the beautiful display at the opera, she's here for the stash.
What stash? Like money?
Boy, oh boy, are you screwed. You are right in the middle of this war, and you don't have a damn clue what it's over.
Then why don't you fill me in, sweetheart?
Well, my assessment is over. You're harmless. Come on. I know a guy who'll help you out, Big Cat. I think he goes by the name Ollie nowadays.
Ollie? You know Ollie?
Do you?
He's my brother.
Well, yeah, but if you know him, why the hell don't you know anything else? Hasn't he filled you in?
Don't tell me he's part of any gang business.
He always keeps his nose out of it. Probably why he's one of the few of you that I actually like. The sister's not so bad either, but I don't know if she's in town.
He doesn't have a sister. But we don't have a sister.
Have you been down here with Ollie this whole time?
What's it to you?
In all that time, I would have thought he'd at least prepare you for the race. Do you even have a piece on you?
You've already been acquainted with it.
Ugh. Lord Ollie, what are you doing? It's Alistair, right? Look, I'm going to be straight with you for a minute. I came down here from Chicago because Rhoda phoned me some weeks ago asking for help.
And Rhoda is...
Your brother's wife. You don't even know that much?
You must be thinking of some other Ollie, because his wife's name is Sun.
That's just the cheesy nickname he calls her. Romantic sap. Anyway, I came here to help your brother with a problem, and I'm guessing that that problem extends to you, whether you know it or not.
I think Ollie would have told me if he had a problem.
Well, apparently he doesn't tell you much of anything, does he?
Something shot from the rooftop through Dee's temple and burst out the other side. She dropped in an ungraceful slump. I ducked behind a parked car, getting out my pistol.
That would fire letter start at Virginia. Consider us even, little Miss Bone Husky.
A pot-bellied 3-foot dwarf pointed his cane at me from the rooftop. He sounded human enough, but his horned shoulders made him look like a goddamn nightmare. He had bony wings coming out of his ankles, 2 for each leg. I thought for sure I was seeing things.
There's the little roach.
I rubbed my eyes, blinked hard, then looked again. The damn wings were still there. They flapped and lugged his heavy weight to the ground. When he touched down, he nudged his cane against Dee's body.
Clean through? Man, my aim has gotten better. You get sloppy, girl, and it ain't sexy.
Ah! His figure blurred to the left so quick I almost missed it. I shot again and again. Each time the wings unfolded just when he would blur out of the way. Out of bullets. Now one of them hit the freaky bastard. Before I could run for it, he zipped out of sight. I felt something cold shove against my back.
Nice try, little roach, but that wasn't done anything anyway.
What the hell are you?
You know what to know, and you're not going to know anything anymore. So sorry. Not the personal. family stuff. You get my drift? Ouch!
Pain shot through my shoulder, but it hadn't come from the back. It came from the front and burst out the back. The foreign bullet must have hit the mini demon behind me. There's someone there. Someone on the roofs. I looked up. They were just as much a freak show as the first guy, except feminine. The silhouette gave the impression of a misshapen, contorted, and mangled heap of limbs. She had long antlers, feathers, and 2 extra appendages that sprouted from her back in a spiral. The new nightmare peered down at me. Gotcha. She flexed her twisted wings and made her way down to Mr. Mini-Freak and me. I beheld the enormity of this beautiful terror's wingspan. The longest feathers stretched to the length of a car and a half, and they were coated in blood. The homunculus walled out from behind me, his webbed face boiling.
What the hell are you doing here?
He dropped his gun in the surprise, along with Dee's smoking stick and his cane.
I should ask you the same.
There was something familiar about her face.
Minto canete after Hermes, do not do this.
Damn it, so. It seems like the mole mistress still can't keep her itchy beak out of our business.
The family is my business. What were you going to do after shooting our brother? Walk away with that piece and think we won't come after you?
Brother? This dirt kisser?
I hurried to grab the guy's lost gun and Dee's smoking stick. I clearly saw Jim in it, and these guys clearly wanted it. I stood between the 2 creatures, not exactly sure where to aim the pistol. I ended up picking the goblin who shot Dee. Why do you want this thing? What is it? The stick was suddenly jerked out of my hand.
It's mine. Damn bastard got his spit all over it.
Standing behind me and wiping the mouthpiece off with her skirt in a grumble was Dee. I almost dropped the gun, but by some miracle I kept hold of it and thrust it at Dee. Aha! You! I heard the cranking click of a gun behind me and felt the metal push into my head. And then...